I have written a Wordle simulator. It played hundreds, thousands of games trying to answer questions like, is the win always possible? Or at least, what is the chance of winning if you play perfectly? And what does perfect play even mean? And finally, is there the best word to start your game of Wordle with? Let's find out. Welcome to Games Computers Play. Wordle is this cute little word game that for some mysterious reasons became massively popular in the early 2022. They say it has grown from literally 50 users to millions of daily players. Amazing! Even Google had a special logo to show when you searched for Wordle. You can be sure you made it in life when Google has a special logo for the searches about you. Anyway, here's the Wordle. Rules are simple. You need to guess a 5-letter word using 6 guesses. After each guess, the game will tell you which letters are guessed correctly and are in the right place, which are correct but misplaced, and which are not present in the word at all. The game is not particularly original. I don't think it claims to be. Wikipedia lists the games with the similar gameplay: pen and paper Giotto and a TV show Lingo.
Snot doubt.
Drips. D-R-I-P-S.
Drips. D-R-I-P-S.
I haven't seen either of those, but I personally saw the exact game like this as a minigame in my favorite word game, Bookworm Adventures. What else about Wordle? You can only play one game a day, and it was created by a guy named Josh Wordle. And as the history of the game goes, Josh Wordle created this game just to play together with his girlfriend, which I think is a very sweet detail. And by the way, the girlfriend will come up again in a few minutes. Now, let's create a program that plays Wordle. And since the game only gives you one attempt a day, we're not going to make the machine play the actual game, we will simulate playing the game and get some analysis and some numbers out of that simulation. Let's start with this. Where does the game get all the words? This is where, if you look into the game's source code, you'll find the 2 huge lists of words inside, pretty much in plain view, accessible to prying eyes. First list, as it turns out, is the list of words the game uses as the word of the day. Those are relatively popular 5-letter words, and there are about 2,300 of them. And with only one used daily, this should be enough to take us through the years from now till about the end of 2027 or so. Fun fact, the list of 2,300 words was created by Josh Wordle's girlfriend. I told you I would mention her again, who, the girlfriend, selected them as words she knew or might have known, and generally the words that would be fun to guess. As she was and is American, here's the root cause of those spelling controversies that erupted afterwards. Anyway, back to the word lists. The second list is the complete list of all or almost all remaining 5-letter words in English language. So we have 10,600 of those. It includes such popular items as dwams, lickin, remay, and of course zistai. Anyway, put together, these two make up a full list of words, almost 13,000 of them. So, here's the main rule of our simulation. The player program, obviously it doesn't know the chosen word, of course, but also let's make it a rule that the program doesn't know that the word is chosen from the list of 2,300. So, when guessing, it just uses the bigger 13,000 list. We will go through a few iterations of the program and let each one play 100,000 games, measuring how many attempts it takes on average for a program to make the right guess and what percentage of games would be won, that is 6 guesses or shorter. And let's start with something simple. Green letters. Green means we guessed correctly both the letter and the place of the letter in the word. If we happen to stumble upon a green letter, let's use only words that fit that pattern, that only have these letters in those places. It is somewhat close to using one of those crossword solvers where you enter the pattern and you get the list of all the words that fit. Whenever there are more than one word to choose from, we'll choose a random one. Now, let's go to our simulation. Well, as you might have expected, there's nothing to write home about. This approach doesn't yield any great results. We only won about 8% of games. And the average guessing time is far beyond the length of the game at 15 turns. So this is not a way to do it. Next piece of information that the game offers is yellow letters. Present, as it describes it, the word has this letter, but it should be in a different place. This is actually a powerful way to filter the word list. Now that we know which letter should be in the word, we can filter the list much more efficiently. Now, how high will using these two pieces of information, green and yellow, will take us? Well, let's find out. It is clearly an improvement. Having these two working together, we have gotten as high as 44% winning rate, with an average game length just below 8 turns, just a few turns after the game would be over. This is not a celebratory moment, at least not a celebratory moment just yet. Let's add the final piece of logic. Gray letters, meaning the letters that are not in the word. Using this piece of information is something that is difficult for humans. I mean, sure, it's difficult for me. Can you really quickly think of the words that do not contain certain letters? Really? Can you, without batting an eye, list all the words that don't have A, B, C, D, E, F, G in them? Exactly. But for machine, not only it's easy, it's actually a very efficient way to whittle down the list of potential words to go through. Let's see how our new and improved all three colors algorithm would perform. That's more like it. Using all three strategies together brought the success rate up to almost 89%. And the average game length is below 5 turns now. Let's think what else we can do to improve it even more. But before we continue with the improvement, here are a few curious statistics. So here we started with green, then added yellow, and then added gray. What if we started, for example, with gray? How efficient is such a program? What about gray and yellow? How about that combination? Worry not, I tested it all out. They are like little superheroes, each one has its strengths and weaknesses, and only together they can get the job done. 89% of the time. So yeah, let's get back to improving our program some more. Well, what can we do? There's nothing more that the game tells us. Green, gray, and yellow, these are all the colors it has to offer. Yet, there is one more thing, the language itself, the letters to be exact. Think about it. For example, when you use a word with the letter J in it, there are only so many words containing J, and I mean not that many at all, and we will only get information about those words. Conversely, if you use a word with E in it, you'll get the information about a much larger set of words, as E is the much popular, much more frequently used letter. So, first step, what is the popularity of different letters? Well, that's easy. Just go through the list and count them up. Here you go. I've done that. Sorted alphabetically or sorted by the count. Second step, we'll rank all the words in our list by the sum of all the weights of all the letters they contain. Now, when we need to pick a word from the list, we pick not a random one, but the one with the highest weight. Side note, you need to count only the unique letters in the word. Otherwise, the program thinks that the word asses is a great opener, which it obviously isn't. And also, you need to recount all weights for each turn, as the list of words changes each turn. Anyway, let's see how our perfected algorithm fares. Well, we have managed to raise the success rate to 96.6%. Only about one game in 30 manages to last longer than 6 guesses. Well, let's say that's good enough. And this is where I will stop. I guess you cannot win all the time, right? And also, the program actually found the best word for the opening. I didn't tell it to do it, but anyway. So it starts all the games now with the same word, arose, as in arise, arose, arisen. Which makes sense if you think about it. It contains the 5 most frequent letters in a 5-letter word vocabulary list. A few notes here. All the words containing the same letters are of the same value. So arose might as well be soar or
soar.
They are all the same thing. Next, here, our program does not know about the list of 2,300 words that Wordle uses. The frequency of letters is actually a little different between these two lists, and the best opening word is also different. When the program only considers words from the smaller list, later is the word to start. There are some popular recommendations I found over the internet regarding the best words to start with. Here are some statistics about them. Alright, this is it. The link to the source code of the simulator is in the description. Feel free to give it a spin and see if you can bring it over the 100% mark. Maybe there's some completely new genius approach I'm totally missing. Who knows? So that's it for now. Please like and subscribe for more videos about using Python for simulating or playing games, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.